So, good day once again, people out there on the internet. This is going to be a very important video that is very long overdue. Um, it's part of what I would say your duty as a local. When I say local, that is anyone that has been living in New Zealand, in the same city, in the same region, in the same territory, such as myself here in Canterbury. But I'm sure, I mean, from what I've seen, even on TV and things like this, um, uh, on this particular matter, but there's also other matter, any matter that is concerning. It's part of your duty to speak out about these things because we're not back in the 1500s to go and start chopping heads. Even back then, there would have been people that were better than that, right? I'm full colon Bogdan-Saris, full colon Google full stop copyright copy claim, live life claimant and postmaster. But again, I need to mention that even this in and of itself, your power of attorney, any sort of documentation, anything that requires time, people that are corrupt, and from what I've learned over the last sort of 5 years, coming out of their codependency that it seems it's almost impossible to shake off, if not is impossible, is used to waste your time, right? To create more codependency. Just as they, waste your time, they, if possible, waste your life, because that's what gives kicks, right? Like that's what, and I've seen this in both both the because it seems the firefighters don't really partake in this, and much respect to them. No joke, they are good. It seems the organisation here in Christchurch and Canterbury, when it comes to the firefighters, hands down, they are good people. They are good people. Now, I don't know, and this is what is very fascinating to me, right? It's fascinating to me how one group can opt out to partake in these things and remain honourable, while the other two, being the St. John and other, right, the likes of Nurse Maud and whoever else they can hire, partake in all manner of things that are not of public safety, that are not, that they haven't been requested, or there's no consent involved, there's no information, right? As per the New Zealand legislation, when you go in there, it clearly states that you are to be informed of these things. As someone that has a live life claim, someone that is well aware of all these things, you would think that they would do it more, right? Like when you are asking to have your rights upheld and for them to be correct, you would expect them to be more correct, not do the opposite, right? Well, that seems not. It seems they are doing the opposite here. Yeah, so I have avoided, because of second-hand shame, and because in hope that taking into account what I know of malignant narcissism and the cluster B personality disorders, I tried to sort of grey rock them, but it seems that they will not let go. Yeah, they are absolutely corrupt. Yeah, and with ill mental health. These are the only conclusions that I can draw. And it seems that these sort of things have been they have been partaking in this sort of stuff generationally. And the difference between here and a place like London, in England, places like this, in Scotland, so on and so forth, some of those people have knowledge of law, have knowledge of rights, so on and so forth. Here, not so much. So there's actually what it's shown on TV about what they're doing in the UK and how they're upset and all of this sort of stuff. As a matter of fact, I believe it's worse here, probably in Canada, because it's a multiple tier system where now with what they're doing, even that system is no longer in place. And it's pretty much like a quote unquote wild, wild west. But in the wild, wild west, at least it'd be, people with guns versus people with guns. Over here is the most asymmetric. So it's a symmetrical battle. Over here is more of a parasitic, disease-like, and of course it takes a toll on people's mental health. Not everyone is as lucky as myself and is mentally strong and intelligent as myself. I'm sure there is people that are even better than myself, but it seems, as I've been mentioning, because of generational, I'm running out of language here, brainwashing, entraining, enslaving, this sort of stuff. People are fully codependent and compliant with things that are both destroying their rights and their mental health. They're further making their mental health worse, as well as the people that they're targeting, right? Such as myself, obviously, yeah. Such as the people that are not as codependent as them, right? The likes of recovering codependents, that they are going out of their way to keep in trauma bondage, if possible, and all the other bondage in terms of the legal things and things of this nature. So over the past, so 2016, over the last 9 years, yeah, because I've lived here continuously for 9 years. Before that, I've lived in Australia for 6 years. I can confirm that they had similar tactics, but I think they were a bit more clever in terms of being more covert of where is coming from and the organizations that they're using. And they used more private people to carry out the trauma, to carry out the attempted. So I still need to do a little bit of research because I'm not sure. I've got a rough idea that it is somewhere along racketeering, those kind of unlawful means. When it comes to attempted brainwashing, attempted mind control, unconsensual cognitive behavioral therapy, we could call it, right? Because it sure can't be some sort of a community treatment order, because I've looked into it, and first of all, there's too many people that I've witnessed that is being done on, and I've mentioned this to a lot of people. When they think that they are administering some sort of behavioral treatment to someone else, as a matter of fact, a lot of times I've witnessed that is a brainwashing, like a communal brainwashing exercise, right, to reinforce that codependency, in the mass, right, in the group right? To regress, to keep the group regressed, and with the lack of ability to think, and with the lack of ability to exercise their rights, right? Like, and I'm talking like safe and normal. Yeah, I'm not talking about exercising your rights, going and harming people or anything like that. Yeah. So these are some of the things that are very, very concerning. And uh, because they've been failing to submit me to, I don't know, uh, become the way that someone else, right? Because I'm not living my life the way someone else wants, that I've never met, I've never spoken to, they've never written to me. Even and this is valid for everyone else. Some people have changed, right? Some people have, and you can see how it is that highly narcissistic, malignant narcissistic thing where they're both getting addicted to and continue using the means, so that they're not, it's not some sort of goal oriented program where they have a specific thing that they want you to do because you need to do it because it's of public safety, or because you want to change your behavior, such as if you were to go to a therapist and be like, hey, I have anxiety, or I have whatever, feelings, or whatever mental health issues you have, or behavioral issues you have. And then there's a specific goal, and then, you can track that, and so on and so forth. No, it's just like that they make it up as they go, and they get addicted to it. And another very important component that needs to be added to this is that it seems to be driven by females. Yeah. And they corrupt. So that I would presume that by far the amount of malignant, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic, personality disordered females that are in the New Zealand police and in the medical industry, and also above that, right? Because these organizations are being controlled by the so-called justice system, and so on and so forth. I'm sure there is some good, some judges and things that want to perform well, and so on and so forth. But what do you do when you've got just how I want to work in the industries that I can work. I wanted to go finish my engineering degree, but I had to make peace with the fact that the level 3, level 4 is where it's at. If I try to aim any more than that, it's going to be warfare. Yeah, it's probably going to, and when I say warfare, I mean psychological, I mean political, I mean all of that sort of stuff. I'm just making a coffee here in the same time to prove that I do have distributed, what do they call it? I can distribute my attention and multitask, which is a skill that has allowed me to observe these things. Some people can't even observe this. Hence why they are victims. Beyond the victimhood that I've been subject to. So these are some of the very real things that we are all being forced with over here. So yeah, this is I reckon is worse than the 1990s corruption in Eastern Europe. Oh, yeah, I need to mention that I've also lived here. So 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I also lived another 8 years over here from 2003 to 2010. So I'm coming up on 17 years, no, actually 18 years lived in New Zealand. And things have progressively gotten worse. Yeah. So the corruption that I didn't get to witness so much because I was young, right, when I lived in Romania, in Eastern Europe. Um, but sure was there, and people were talking about it, and it was mainly because of a financial incentive and not what they're doing over here. We're talking like they would pull you over, try to give you a fine, and hope that you would offer to, because bribes were widely accepted. It wasn't uh, how it is these days, that even if you offer to do that, they will give you yet another charge on that, attempted bribery and stuff like that. But that is why they were doing it, because people were poor, and that's what they were doing it. Now over here, they do it for uh, I don't know, could we call it human trafficking? Could we call it? But it's definitely because of brainwash. To try to brainwash you, to try to mind control you, to intimidate you, and I presume, well, for me, for most part, this is every single fine that I've ever received. Every single time that I've had a charge, um, I've never harmed anyone. I've never done anything like that. I know there's people that have done things and have gotten charged like that. Uh, but now I'm starting to question, did they get, harassed and harmed, right? And human trafficked and successfully brainwashed and mind controlled, right? To become a criminal, right? Brainwashed and mind controlled to become a criminal, to then go out and do harm, destroy property, damage people, right? Like harm people, and then have an excuse to do these things, right? Then obviously with the harm, to have the you know uh, other emergency services at play, and so on and so forth. So I reckon this level of corruption and this type of corruption is much, much more dangerous than, I don't know, having a percentage of the police and the medical services, because in Romania, I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, if you were to bribe even the emergency services, the medical staff, you would get better treatment. So even though there was corrupt, it wasn't really like a vicious, society damaging sort of thing. But what they're doing over here, it sure is. It sure is. And it is my home. I'm not going to move, even if, for any reason. Like, at the end of the day, I will die here. That's just the plain fact. Whether that they're going to continue making it hell on earth for all of us over here. Some of us see it, get to experience it even more, and others just don't have the capacity to do so. And even worse than that, they get some sort of a kick, or, some sort of an entertainment, something out of harming the likes of myself. Uh, so that's how bad it is, I presume. Is the same in Canada and all the old colonies. Yeah. So now we could get into a little bit of the corruption of the bureaucratic class, which is obviously making money, and also basically using right? Using um, king-like powers. So because the king pretty much can't perform on anything, right? The way it was back in the days before they had the House of Commons and all that, right? When the king was the king, and not to mention what did 70 years of queenery do to the population's mindset. I have never seen, like, I presume in America, even though a lot of people are upset with the DEI stuff and stuff like that, I presume the rights between men and women, right, the equality between men and women is probably a lot more equal than the absolute night and day, I would say, quadruple uh, difference, right, between the